This is On the Radar to Tape Block coming at you with another edition of MLB Observations, Week 19 of the 2023 season. A's. I'm a huge Zach Geloff fan. He played for Team Israel, but the dude is a top-of-the-order hitter, and if he isn't a top-of-the-order, he's a bottom-of-the-order hitter. He's not a middle-of-the-order hitter. Kemp should be playing second base, but okay, Geloff took a spot. Well, you don't got to play this guy. You got plenty of outfielders in Ruiz, Blade, Seth Brown, and Rooker that there's no need to play Tony Kemp out of position. And same thing with Seth Brown playing first base. If he's not playing the outfield, then maybe DH him. I don't know. And then Elizabeth Diaz is the shortstop. If Nuda's hurt, that's one thing, but maybe play Brent Rooker at first base because he's never been the world's greatest outfielder. And then Blade, batting him 1 or 2 was good because, again, if he was such a good middle-order hitter, I think Miami would have held on to him. San Francisco. I've gotten over the fact that they keep playing Lamonte Wade at first base, even though they've had so many outfield injuries that Jock Peterson with the DH is now playing a lot of outfield. But again, Wade batting leadoff for second's cool, but don't waste a DH spot on him when you can DH Austin Slater or Jock Peterson or even Sable. Just for example. And again, Slater's no business playing center field, let alone playing right field. So, yeah. And he's not a leadoff hitter. They got him for his bat and middle lineup. Again, Sable, stop playing the outfield, your catcher. Then Jacob Junis and Alex Wood and Sean Manaea all pitching on a bullpen when you could have started at least 2 or 3 of those guys that are doing opener. And then Stripling, who was pitching out of bullpen with openers, is actually starting. And then I said Jock Peterson is a middle lineup hitter, not a leadoff for a 2-hitter. And then A.J. Pollock, who only played a lot of center field for the White Sox last year because, Luis Robert was hurt. So I don't see that here when they have Matos and these other guys who can play center field. San Diego. What was the point of getting all-star Garrett Cooper if he's going to bat him all the way 8th and still expect Cronenworth to give you first base production batting 6th and playing first base when you should be playing second base? But again, you got Kim, you got Tatis, you have Machado, you have Bogart. There's no room for Cronenworth. And then I do like Kim has been leading off more, which means Tatis is second and Soto's in the perfect spot, the 3 spot. L.A. I thought by getting Kiki Hernandez, who's played, I think, second, short, third, even stupidly played first base, and he's playing outfield like he always does, and getting Ahmed Rosario, who I've been telling you is not a great shortstop. He's playing second base and shortstop on this team. Like, why are you still playing Mookie Betts at either shortstop or second base? And Chris Taylor's healthy. You got enough guys who can play the infield who I'm not saying he's not qualified, but you want your best asset to be in where he belongs. I don't like when he leads off because then Freddie Freeman is second instead of middle of the lineup, and Will Smith is third because then you get like Rosario batting 4th or 5th and Chris Taylor in that spot. Rosario is a good hitter, but he should be batting like 6th, 7th, not 3rd or 4th. Same thing with like Chris Taylor's utility guy. Hayward, if he's going to play, you play him in right field or left field. We went over this with the Cubs. He's not a center fielder. Okay? I do like being right that this team has realized, the Dodgers, that Rosario is probably better suited to play second base. They use openers, and Yarborough's pitching on a bullpen, but he was a bulk guy when he was in Tampa Bay, so it's not different. It's just like they just don't have enough pitching in this team. With May, Goslin, Urias, Buehler, Kershaw all missing significant time, they don't have enough bodies there. Outman is a really good defensive outfielder. He shouldn't be the DH. DH guys who are not good defensive players. Angels, again, Ohtani should be batting 3rd like Juan Soto does in San Diego. Stop wasting him 2nd. Because then you get some lineup where Mickey Moniak is batting the middle. And I'm just like, I like when he's maybe 7th or 8th. But I don't want Randall Grichuk last. Between Randall Grichuk, Crone, Moustakas, Escobar, and Drury, they got to be surrounding, and Renfroe, Ohtani in that middle of the lineup. If you want to bat Grichuk 2nd, cool, but not a 9-hitter. That's where you should bat the catcher or one of the guys playing the infield. I'm just getting that. Tice, I don't know I wrote outfield. I meant to say catcher. He's a first baseman, 3rd baseman who's played corner outfield. This is the first year he's ever played catcher this much. He's not a catcher, man. They lost the DH with maneuvering with Ohtani, and Rengifo batting leadoff is perfectly good. Mariners, JP, and Julio 1 and 2 is good. I don't care how you bat Ty France and Teoscar Hernandez and Cal Riley and Suarez. I don't really care the order. Dylan Moore, stop playing in the outfield. He's this infielder. And then Rojas, I decided to have been playing second base in Arizona, but there's no place to put him. And right now, Seattle doesn't have a second baseman, so you at least want to get his bat in the lineup. Cardinal, I'm tired of seeing Goldschmidt second because then I see a lineup where Taylor Motter, Andrew Kitzner, I think that's his name, and Tommy Edman are your last 3 hitters. I'm a huge Tommy Edman fan, so him leading off for batting 2nd, cool. If you want him as a 2nd leadoff hitter batting 9th, that's fine with me. But when Goldschmidt bats 2nd, that's where you get Taylor Motter and Kinster in hearts of the lineup, and I'm like, in like the RBI spots, I'm like, yeah, I don't want my last 3 hitters to not be scary. Colorado, Profar, the whole infielder in the outfield thing. Nolan Jones, who's a corner infielder, and Togaila, who's a middle infielder, also playing the outfield at least 1 or 2 days. Togaila played first base or DH. Elias Diaz, he had an all-star year, but I wouldn't want to count on this guy to batting 3 through 5 or DHing when you can DH one of the infielders. You're playing in the outfield. Come on, Ryan McMahon should be middle of the lineup, not second. I wrote him twice fifth because it's like, stop batting this guy fifth. And then Rogers should not be batting cleanup. They should be happy their middle infield guy is back, but he's not a middle order hitter. Tovar, good in the 2 spot. I like that. And then Harold Castro, who was playing a lot in infield, they just threw him in the outfield. And Cole Tucker, stop playing middle infielders in the outfield. Brewers, the whole Yelich Contreras 1 and 2. Adames batting 4th, or Frelick. I'm like, and now Tyrone Taylor. Like, you're batting the wrong guys in the middle of the lineup. At least Carlos Santana or Mark Canha, when they're batting 3rd or 4th, those are RBI power guys. That makes sense. Yelich and Contreras should be middle of this lineup. It's a stretch when Mark Canha has to play right field. I would much rather Yelich is a much better athlete, a much better defensive player who plays center field full-time a few seasons like him in right field than Mark Canha. Mark Canha playing first base is totally fine, but then what do you do with Santana and Rowdy when he comes back? And then Anderson, now that he's back, I don't want him batting either. He should be in the middle lineup. I don't get it. Pirates, Sawinski, I'm like, don't bat him 3rd or 4th. Then they're like, well, some days we'll bat him leadoff. No, 5th through 7th is a good spot for him. Davis is a catcher. Just play him a catcher. You don't have Austin Hedges anymore. You traded him. Reynolds, perfect as a left fielder and a 2-hitter. Those are spots for him. Kutcher batting middle lineup, not leadoff, perfect. Hayes, when he has batted like 3 through 6, I'm like, good. But when they bat him leadoff, I'm like, what are you doing? Okay, and then Connor Joe, I'm like, cool, middle of the lineup. Nope, 1 and 2. Like, again, he's not a top order hitter. Twins. Carlos Correa should not be batting leadoff, okay? They have a few times batted him and Kepler in the 3-4 spot. I'm like, that's why you're paying him all this money. Joey Gallo, you brought him in to drive in runs and hit home runs. I know he strikes out a lot, but 8th is kind of low. Then playing Willie Castro in the outfield, when again, he's an infielder, is silly. Kyle Farmer's a catcher, so maybe you play him at 3rd base. I'm not going to be upset, but he's not a shortstop. Solano's the second baseman, 3rd baseman. Stop playing him at 1st base or batting in the middle of the lineup. He's a utility guy. Played second base a few times. Luplo, they got themselves a good outfielder. So why are you DHing him or playing him at 1st base when he's a backup outfielder? Also, I don't put backup outfielders cleanup. And then Julian batting 2nd is good or leading off, but don't waste the DH spot on him. Or Correa batting 2nd again, middle of the lineup guy there. Then, why is Polanco playing 3rd base or batting 2nd or batting 3rd? We figured out the perfect spot for him last year was 5th. And if you're going to put this guy at 3rd base, don't you think you could have kept Luis Arraez at 2nd base and not trade the batting title? Dude is probably going to win another one. Like, what are you thinking in Minnesota? Diamondbacks. It's interesting how Perdomo is a backup utility guy who this year got a bunch of starts, is leading off. I wouldn't trust that guy in the leadoff spot. Carroll, when he bats leadoff for a 2nd, I'm like, it's not bad. I'd probably rather him than batting 3rd because it's a lot of pressure on a rookie all-star to bat 3rd. And Manny Rivera, good. Stop putting him at the top of the lineup. I like when he's lower. Carson Kelly, the starting catcher, pitched in a blowout. I like Ketel Marte if he's leading off for 2nd because he's the top of the order guy. I like Tommy Pham, but in this lineup, he should not be batting 3rd, maybe 6th or 7th. Texas, the whole Simeon Seager is silly because then the rest of the lineup is kind of out. That's why I'd rather Seager 3rd and Simeon 2nd. Martin Perez is bumped to the bullpen. That's fine because he's a lefty. I guess they don't have enough starter. And then Jack Cassidy batting 2nd some days. I'm like, that's where he should be if he's going to start in left field. And then the Josh Smith is best if he play 3rd base, not shortstop or outfield. And they lost the DH maneuvering. Miami, Jorge Soler batting 2nd. I was an issue with. He's a slugger. That's the middle of the lineup. They're like, let's put him as leadoff. What are you doing? Okay, and then De La Cruz batting cleanup. No, we went over this. He and Sanchez are not middle order hitters. That's why you're paying Soler and Avi Garcia all this money, and we got Josh Bell. So it's like Jazz Chisholm should be leading off for 2nd, not batting in the middle of the lineup or playing center field because that's how he keeps getting hurt. I'm okay with Luis Arraez batting 1st because there were some weeks he was batting 3rd. I'm like, dude, he's the top of the order hitter. Birdie leading off is cool. He's got speed and contact, but again, infielder in the outfield. Sanchez playing center field, I like that. If Jazz is not, because he shouldn't be, that's who should be there. Wendell, again, his second baseman, 3rd baseman, should not be playing shortstop. And then one day last week, I saw Avi play center field. I'm like, dude, the dude's a horrible defensive outfielder. Put this dude in the corner spot, okay? Boston. I like Jalen Duran leading off, but 7th, there's no value. And it's a really dumb lineup when he's playing left field and Adam Duvall's playing center field. When Duvall's not an outfielder to begin with, I don't trust this guy in center field. He's a corner guy at best. When Duran should be playing center field every day he starts, what it should be. Verdugo, batting 2nd is a lot better than him batting leadoff. But again, 6th and 7th is a good spot. Ref Schneider, if you want the utility guy to lead off once in a while, that's cool, but he's not an outfielder. Yoshi and Devers batting 3 and 4 is perfect where they belong. Duvall batting 3 through 6 is where you get a slugger to bat, and he's played right field a few times. Just stop playing him in center. But then when you bat Yoshitsugu or Justin Turner second or Devers second, I'm like, what are you doing? Those are middle hitters. Turner batting third is perfect. You changed the shortstop. You made so much a big deal that you wanted to keep him and Reyes over Christian Arroyo and Kike Hernandez that you're not even playing him as shortstop. But Vetta pitch out of bullpen one day and another day he started. Like, just keep him in the starter. They did a whole opener thing. They don't have enough starters. Pablo Reyes, the utility guy, pitching a blowout. This Lamet, who is a starting pitcher, they're wasting him as a reliever. And then Pablo Reyes, when he did start, leading off is fine. The Blue Jays, Whit Merrifield, stop playing in the outfield. I know Kevin Kiermaier is injured, but what's the point in calling that Luke's guy up if he's not going to play the outfield and you're going to throw Biggio or Whit Merrifield or the Schneider guy in the outfield when they're all second basemen? I know you need to get their bat in the lineup, but come on. And then Springer, he's no longer leading off because having Whit lead off because Bobichet's hurt. I like when they were smart enough to put Springer in the middle lineup, and they have. So I'm like, good. You're correcting that. And again, playing right field all year, he's been great. Jansen, if he's such a great catcher, then how did he lose his job last year to Allen Kirk? So I wouldn't put this guy cleanup or DH. And if Varsho's supposed to be a key contributor in the middle lineup, why is he batting ninth? And again, catcher by trade. Left field's fine. Stop playing him in center field. Belt should be middle lineup, not batting second. And Biggio, again, second baseman by trade. Not an outfielder, not a first baseman. What are you doing? The Yankees, IKF, we've been over this. He's not an outfielder. He's a catcher by trade, so third base is fine. But he's also not a leadoff hitter. Bauer's not a leadoff hitter or a two-hitter. First base is fine, but he used to be in the middle lineup. Gleyber Torres has never been a great hitter so far that I want the relying on to bat third. Or Journeyman McKinney to bat fifth. It is LeMahieu who's the top hitter to bat sixth. Again, second base playing third base. Judge should be middle of the lineup because they got all these guys batting in the middle lineup that don't belong there. Bader, seventh's too high for a glove first guy. And Cabrera playing the outfield as an infielder. And then they did an opener to the Yankees because they're running out of bodies, I guess, with Herman on the restricted list. Then you got the Astros, where Altuve, I'm okay with them leading off. If you put Jeremy Pena or Dubon or McCormick or someone that makes sense second, but not Bregman second. Bregman batting cleanup is good. Should be middle lineup. Chaz Chisholm batting fifth is way too high. Seventh is okay. But then if you have Jeremy Pena batting eighth, when, second's good for him, I was like, I don't know if I want Chaz before Jeremy Pena lineup. Dubon playing center field when they have Myers and Dubon makes no sense. They lost the DH with maneuvering. Philly, I'm tired of the Kyle Schwarber leading off and Bryson Stott batting fifth. But then they're like, let's compound that by putting either Nicky Castellano or Alec Boehm second. You're putting all your sluggers in the wrong spot. Okay? And then Brandon Marsh should not be batting seventh. He's a glove first guy. Jake Cave's a glove first guy, but he's an outfielder by trade. He's not a bad defensive player. Why is he playing first base? Strom, who pitched in the rotation, start the year is pitching on the bullpen because they got enough arms now. Trey Turner, he's not having a great year. So if he's having a great year and you don't want him batting first or second, why are you batting 4 through 6? That's key spots in the lineup. They did bat lead him once. And then Rodolfo Castro, who replaced Josh Harrison as the super utility guy in this team, 6 is way too high in the lineup. And Bryce Harper playing first base, like, stop. Just DH this guy, okay? Royals. Mikael Garcia was batting in the middle lineup, but now you're batting leadoff. It just makes no sense. Whit Merrifield and Massey batting second and third, good. Speed and contact, and then a power guy, cool. Sal Perez should not be playing first base, man. You're a catcher. If you want to DH him once in a while, that's cool. Don't waste a DH spot on backup catcher for Mean or Olivares, who should be playing the outfield. Melendez, if you want to DH him because he can't field, that's who DH. Because he's not an outfielder, he's a catcher by trade, and 4 through 6 is good for him, not second. You want his bat. Matt Duffy, utility man. Why would I want this guy in the middle lineup or backup catcher for me batting fifth? That's stupid. They lost H maneuvering. Orioles. I was like getting on the Orioles for top batting Adley Rushman second. Now he's batting leadoff. I'm like, oh, no. What are you doing? And Mountcastle, if he's not batting cleanup, he should be batting fifth. Is batting second some days. Gunnar batting third a few days, good. But some days he's second. I'm like, oh my God, just leave him in the middle lineup. And then Hayes batted seventh a few times. I'm like, good. He should not be batting cleanup. That's where O'Hearn, even Gunnar should be, or Mountcastle. Okay, and then O'Hearn stopped playing in the outfield. You have so many outfielders on this 40-man roster. Keep this dude at first base or DH. Westberg's a young rookie. I wouldn't bat him fifth. That's where Mountcastle and other guys should be. Urias, seventh is way too high. Adam Frazier, sixth is way too high. Those are bottom order hitters, or you want to bat him 1 or 2. And then Jorge Mateo. If Gunnar Henderson and all these other guys, they call up taking his spot, they just don't play this dude. He's not an outfielder. Like, you have enough outfielders. Mets. Alvarez should be batting in the middle of the lineup because there are days where I saw Mendick and Arauz and Abraham Almonte, who I didn't realize got called up batting in the 5 through 7 spots. You want Alvarez's power in the 5 or 6 spot. Lindor batting third is what he should be, not second. McNeil should not be batting fifth or third. He batted second a few times, and I was like, good. But again, not a leadoff hitter either. Almonte is got you need bodies in the outfield between him and Ortega. So I would DH the guys you actually need to DH, like DJ Stewart, Darren Ruff, Pete Alonso. Like, those are the guys you DH. And Mendick is an infielder. Stop throwing him in the outfield like you're doing with Jeff McNeil. Tigers, Riley Green is good in the 2 spot, but don't waste the DH spot when he's such a good outfielder. Vierling, if you're playing the outfield, why are they throwing him at third base when you need him in the outfield? Because then there are days where I see Carpenter, who's an infielder, in the outfield, and Banya's in the outfield, Eric Haas in the outfield, like McKinstry in the outfield. I'm just like, just keep Vierling, Akil Baddoo, and Riley Green as your outfield. Occasionally have someone sub in, but that's it. And Vierling is not such a great hitter. I want him third. Leading off, I don't know. And Torkelson, I'm glad he's not batting second anymore. Middle lineup is good. Carpenter, if you want his bat in the lineup and you have a black hole at third base, why don't you play him at third base? They've respected Miguel Cabrera a little bit more this past week, batting in 5th or 6th instead of 7th. They lost to DH maneuvering, Zach Short pitched in a blowout, and Ebony is the utility man. His no business batting 3 through 6. Haas should be playing catch every day. It's not like he's Mike Piazza offensively. You just want to get his bat in the lineup that you got to throw him in the outfield. It's just stupid. Akil Baddoo let off one day. I'm like, that's fine. And then Tampa Bay, Yanni Diaz, stop leading him off when he's one of your only run producers. Wander Franco's perfect in the 2 spot. And if you want to put Brandon Lau third and then go Randy Rosarena, I'm fine. I just don't like seeing Harold Ramirez batting 3 through 6 and DHing when he's a backup outfielder. Okay, Margot plays center field one day. Cool, that's his natural spot. I like that. Paredes, who should be playing third base every day. I don't know what they're doing. He played second base one day and first base. So just keep him where he is. Red, De La Cruz went from batting cleanup to leading off with his speed. That's great with me. Senzel batted second a few times. That's good with me, or batting bottom 2 in the lineup. He played third base some days, which is good. He's an infielder, but again, stop playing him in the outfield. But he's more experienced than other guys. McLean was batting second, but when they moved India down to 5, they put McLean third. I'm like, no, I'd rather you maybe put De La Cruz or even Senzel third. But the whole point is you have Spencer Steer, Joey Votto. They call it that hyphenated guy up. And I'm just like, you got enough guys in your lineup that could bat in the middle lineup there, okay? And then Steer, dude, he should be playing first base every day if he's not going to get to play third base. Because Joey Votto's old. Like, he should be DHing so there's no need for Spencer Steer in the outfield. It's a liability. And Newman is a good enough defensive middle infielder that he shouldn't be wasting a DH spot on him. As I mentioned, there are plenty of guys. Or batting 5th. Friedel batting 2nd, that's good. Washington, CJ Abrams, Lane Thomas 1 and 2 instead of Thomas and Garcia. If that's what you want, those are speed and contact. Cool. I mentioned K-Ball Ruiz, the franchise catcher, but I wouldn't DH him or bat him 4th. He's maybe 6th or 7th in the lineup. Ilmo Vargas is a utility guy. Why is he batting 6th or 7th? Riley Adams, at this point, he's never got a 2-day everyday catcher, so he's a backup. I don't bat backup catcher 6th. And then Joey Meneses is your middle of the order slugger, not a 2-hitter. And then Alou is a journeyman minor leaguer. Why is he batting 6th? Then we're getting to Michael Chavis. He's a former top prospect with the Red Sox who was bat first, but didn't have an opportunity to play third base or first base in Boston because those were occupied, so he played second base in the outfield. Washington traded Candelario, and Ildemar Vargas is a real journeyman career backup, utility guy that's gone from team to team, and Alou is a journeyman minor leaguer. I would actually play Michael Chavis every day at third base and play one of these other guys at second base and just see, okay, cool, what can Chavis do offensively? Nope. Cubs. Madrigal leading off is good because he got speed, but the whole point of getting Candelario was so that Candelario could play third base and not him or Wisdom. Like, what are you thinking? He played second base one day, I think. That was cool. That's fine. Swanson batting second one day, but then batting in 5th. Like, keep him in the 2 spot. Okay? Happ batting 3rd is what we've been over this perfect spot. Bellinger moving back and forth between center field and first base is silly when you got 2 young guys in your system you could have played and you had 2 old guys start the season. It's like, just let Patrick Wisdom play first base. That's his natural position. Wasting a DH spot on Jan Gomes when I said DH guys like Bellinger and Wisdom. And then Seiya batted 6th, okay, but he was batting 3rd or 4th before. And Wisdom going back and forth between first base and third base is stupid when the whole point is for him to play first base. The backup catcher Barnard pitching a blowout. Morel is a waste of a DH spot. When I mentioned they got a lot of guys who are DH. Him leading off is good. And again, stop playing Candelario at first base. You got him at third base. Atlanta, the Acuna leading off, I'm okay with because they finally put Albie back second. They took Olsen out of the 2 spot and put him clean up. And then literally whoever's catching is bagging behind Olsen. And you have Riley before him. And then Ozuna and Rosario. And then your shortstop and your center fielder Harris. Like, that's a great lineup there. Okay? Cleveland, they finally moved Jimenez to this 2 spot. Once Rosario got traded, I'm like, good. Are they going to move him to shortstop? They didn't. Fry, because of injuries to Naylor, and they traded, Bell, the catcher getting in place on first base instead of outfield. Smart. Arias has played some shortstop, and so was someone else. But again, stop playing him at first base. You got an open hole at shortstop. And the whole point of getting Calhoun was he's been a good outfielder his whole career. Why is he playing first base? And Laureano's a good defensive guy, but I wouldn't want him in the middle of the lineup. Then finally, the White Sox. TA or Benny 1 and 2 is great. Moncada's got speed, but I want him to drive in more runs, so I don't want him second. Elvis batted leadoff one day, which is cool. Speed and contact. Trace Thompson, I like the guy. I like his brother Clay, but he's a backup outfielder, so I don't want my backup outfielder batting 6 or 7. And I'm not wasting a DH spot on a young, athletic, speedy rookie outfielder in Cola when literally Aloy and Sheets and Vaughn, you could DH all of those guys instead of throwing Sheets stupidly in the outfield, okay? And then Lambert, he's got starting pitching capability, and the White Sox going with Schultens and Tougie Toussaint in the rotation to solidify the Kopech, Clevenger, Cease top. Maybe actually start Lambert. I don't know. But again, thanks for listening to another edition of MLB Observations, Week 19 of the 2023 season. For On the Radar Table Blog, I'm Radar. See you guys next time.